typical episode of our show starts with me going on some sort of like epic opening soliloquy. However, this week, I'm going to punt it over to you, and I'm going to have you go on the epic opening soliloquy. So, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make.
Breaking news.
Shocking. But I have to say it. I'm back on the bandwagon.
He's back on the bed. You hear that, folks?
I'm back. And I'm back because they're winning. And I'm back because everything that was shitty that happened. But you know what time does? It heals all. It heals old wounds.
Yes, it does.
And this team winning 10 of 11 games.
5 in a row.
12 wins. 2 of them allowing more than 2 goals. And they're banking points. And you know what? I got to stop saying you know what. If you keep listening to the show, like, the amount of times I say it, I'm sick of it. I'm going to try and stop. But
you know what?
But you know what? You look at a guy like Zach Hyman, okay? Yeah. Everyone cried their faces off when this guy left town. A bunch of wah-wahs, including me. I remember, hey, last season, me and you were on here being like, we can't get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
You know what this season has proved to everyone?
What?
That if your top players score and contribute, and the way this team is set up with it being so top heavy, when those players are playing the way they should be playing and the way they are paid, and you have a goaltender who
there's no doubt in my mind who the best player on the Toronto Maple Leafs is right now.
I need a stat nerd to hit me up. Maybe I'll do the research myself after this. But is there a better start in Maple Leaf history in net than this?
I don't think so. Off the top of my head, I don't think so.
With all the stats, all the easy goalie stats, all the save percentage and goals against average and wins and shutouts, and it's like he did it again tonight.
Yeah, he did.
1 goal.
Yeah. And a bunch of big saves, especially in the third period.
And it's like he's making big saves, but it's just like it doesn't seem as like dangerous as it has in the past. Like,
but I think not that I want to take any praise away from Jack Campbell whatsoever, but I think to your point, like the way they're playing, like
they've
defensively,
it up,
it's way tighter.
They've tightened it up, and they're playing the cliche play 60 minutes of hockey. But like they're getting better at it. Like,
what do you say to the people who are listening to you go on this rant right now and are like, talk to me in a few months when they've lost 4 in a row, or they've lost 5 of 6?
Well, I would think it would be talk to me when they get to April and lose into the playoffs. And I get that. I get it. They will lose 4 in a row. Like they will. Yeah. But aren't you happy that this is happening? Like, I don't know. Like we could sit here and whine and complain about last season and the season before that and what happened in the playoffs. I get it. There's no problem with that. It's just like they're still a good team. They're still winning. Like this is a whole new year. Like I'm not saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but like they're the hottest team in the league right now. They're playing good hockey.
Yeah.
They're like things are going well. It's like I'm just happy that it's not a collapse. I'm going to keep saying that every single week. I'm just so happy that it's not a disaster.
No, because it was looking like that.
It was looking brutal.
Yeah.
And our expectations and trade this guy and trade that guy. And looking back on it, it's like Dubas had no choice but to go all in this season. And it's proving him right now because it's like you make a deal for one of those guys. What do you get back? What money? Blah, blah, blah. Instead, go back with these dudes. And it's paying off. And it's just like it's almost mind-boggling. I'm almost in shock of like this streak they're on. It's shocking. Like it's getting me back to a place where it was like, you know what, they're still good. They're still a good team. I'd rather them be a good team and make the playoffs every year. I can't stress this enough. If this team ever goes back to being a bottom feeder,
could you imagine coming on here? Yeah, could you imagine coming on here and they're like they're in last place? Could you imagine doing a Vancouver Canucks podcast right now?
Oh my god! And you look at the Rangers too, and it's they have 2 top 3 picks in on the roster, and both guys they're good players, but they're not Marner, they're not Matthews.
So if you look at what is the difference? Like why do they seem to be clicking? Well, first of all, you talked about it last week, and they were talking about it on the pregame on TSN tonight. Special teams for combined power play and penalty kill, they're 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
There's the Oilers, who are like miles ahead of everyone because their power play is just stupid.
Yeah.
Then surprisingly, the Anaheim Ducks are 2nd.
Yeah, they're having a good year.
And the Leafs are 3rd. PK is at like 84% or something. So I think defensively specifically, last week we were talking about the mortgage broker, Dean Chenoweth, coming in and taking over the defense.
The real estate
agent, Dean Chenoweth, the accountant.
Yeah, accountant.
The accountant, Dean Chenoweth, coming in and
maybe
taking
Dean
over.
could set me up a retirement savings plan.
Yes.
Maybe I'll give him a call.
TFSA from Dean.
A little tax-free savings account from Dean.
He's by all accounts, he's come in and really like turned the power play around, and he's obviously responsible for the defensive side, and they're playing. I still don't think that their blue line is the most talented, but the way they're playing, like Morgan Riley tonight chipping in offensively, he had a bad pinch, which led to the not a bad pinch. He got kind of out of position, which led to the Rangers goal. But like, I give a lot of the credit defensively to Dean Chenoweth, is what I'm trying to say. But then if you look at like overall, you look at the guys that Dubas brought in, because like, yes, this team's success is ultimately going to be determined by how the big 4 and the core guys. I hate saying the big 4. Like, you know what? I'm done.
The big 4.
No. So
it's the big 4.
So if you're done saying, you know what? I'm done with the big 4, the core 4. It's like, no, like because it's not just those 4 guys. Like Morgan Riley's a part of the core, Muzzin's a part of the core.
It's media driven. It's
the core 4.
Yeah, the big dogs.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
The big boys, quote unquote.
I just can't. I can't with that expression anymore. But it's like, yes, this team will ultimately be driven by those guys. But like, you look at some of these pickups. Like I point at a guy like Kasha. I pointed at a guy like David Kampf.
Rob, we couldn't even pronounce his name properly.
And now he's my favorite Leaf.
And now we're putting him on the first line.
Yes.
Like,
and then you look at a guy like David Kampf. I never remember them having a guy like David Kampf. David Kampf is a forward who I don't care if he scores another goal for the rest of the season.
3 is more than I thought he'd get all year.
His shutdown capabilities and his penalty killing makes him like just such an important piece. And they seem to have found guys who fit into these roles that they needed. And that to me is why it just feels more complete when you watch them. Like they feel more complete. It's they're not as like loosey-goosey run. But it's like,
I mean, the last 2 games, they've tightened it up.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong. I thought tonight was the one night, and against Nashville too, actually, where they didn't give up the odd man rush chances.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be 1 or 2 a game, but that was my problem with them early. Was maybe they weren't getting hemmed in like they used to, but they were giving up breakaways. They were giving up 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and I think that they've kind of shut that down a little bit. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I wanted to. So the first 10 minutes of the show has been really positive.
Yeah.
So I do want to just turn away from that quickly, and I want to talk about Nick Ritchie.
Ooh. Nick Ritchie, eh?
Nick Ritchie is awful, and he's on the first line clearly because Sheldon Keefe is trying to get him going. It drives me nuts because my guy Kasha should be on the first line with Matthews and Marner. But it's just, I don't like what, like, he's just bad. He's just bad. And you were saying last week that you felt bad.
I feel awful for the guy.
Yeah.
I'm past the point of hating him. I just want him to score a goal.
I don't hate him either.
The guy literally has 2 points. Like, it's like really bad.
Yes.
Like, when he got signed here, no one really knew anything about him. Like, he was a big dude who maybe could score 15, 20 goals, but he doesn't do anything. Like,
he doesn't do anything. No.
He doesn't forecheck. He doesn't
score. Yeah,
he can't play on the penalty kill. He can't play on the power play. He can't play on the top line. He can't play on the fourth line.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this guy doing here? But I'm watching him on the, like, as a guy who played hockey, who loves sports, just watching this guy being like, I just want this guy to score a goal for his confidence.
He just looks absolutely clueless.
Like, I feel bad for him. Like, it's like, what can this guy do? Like, he's gonna be in the press box.
But do you actually think, like, his best game of the season was in Philly a couple weeks ago?
He did throw one hit.
Yeah. He got 7 shots.
Game high or season high 1 hit.
Like, and he gets benched the other night after taking a stupid penalty.
Oh.
So, but what it's like, what's it gonna take? Like,
I don't know.
think he can get better?
No, I don't. I don't think
that's kind of where I'm at too. I don't think he can get better either.
He's either got to completely reinvent his game to a fourth line style, because I don't see him finding anything on the top line. It's not happening. Like,
which is like kind of like, I kind of want to like go at Sheldon Keefe. Like, I get it. You're winning games. So like, how much can you really criticize the guy? But like Keefe, I mean, but like, what are we doing? What are we doing with this guy? It's like, you're like, oh, well, we're gonna put Mitch with Austin because we want to try and get Austin going. It's like, and we're gonna put Ritchie on the other side.
Yeah.
What the hell is that, Sheldon?
I don't know. I don't read too much into that third guy on that line, because they've been trying to find a third guy on that line for 5 years.
Well, since Hyman left.
Yeah, like, I know, and it took a while for Hyman to even get that spot though. Like, he wasn't always a shoo-in for that spot, but it's like, okay, you either have Bunting, Kasha, or Ritchie in that spot. And I don't really know what Bunting's doing on the fourth line.
I don't know.
Clearly,
you're telling me that, like, okay, does Michael Bunting have the most offensive skill? No. But you're telling me Michael Bunting won't be more effective than Nick Ritchie? Are you crazy?
No, I think he's better than Nick Ritchie.
So why the hell is Nick Ritchie on the first line?
I don't know. I think winning right now is making everything better. I think if they were awful right now, Nick Ritchie would just be getting destroyed.
Yes.
But it's just, right now, anywhere you put him, it doesn't matter, because they're banking points. They're getting wins. People are staying off his back because of that.
People are also staying off Sheldon's back.
Winning cures all. And this isn't just like a little heater they're on. Like, this is
like a sustained run.
Yeah. This is like, we're getting ourselves in a position to make the playoffs already.
Yes.
Because you look at the division, and it's Florida, it's Toronto, it's Boston, it's Tampa Bay. And it's, how are they going to slot? Who's going to get in where? And these early points are just
crucial.
Like, amazing. Yeah. And especially when I look at how long Peter Mrazek is going to take to get back.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, we brought this up last week. I brought it up last week, and I want to bring it up again with the Jack Campbell thing. It's like, that's your only concern right now, is how much Jack Campbell is playing.
And I feel like the more he's playing, the better he's getting, because I feel like if you're a goalie, I feel like reps are good as a goaltender, but we know that people aren't really relying on number one goalies anymore. They're getting tandems, scaling back responsibilities because of injury, because they want more rest. So hopefully, cross our fingers, he stays healthy. But if Jack Campbell goes down, they're in big trouble. So let's enjoy it while it's here, but that's like the wild card in all this thing for me, for this team.
Before we get out of here, I want you've mentioned this to me offline a couple times in the last few days, and I wanted you to bring it up here. I want you to talk to me about the Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who the Invisible Man is.
No, they're all waiting with bated breath right now to hear the Invisible Man.
Because no one talks about him.
Yeah.
in a positive light or a negative light.
Yeah.
He's just invisible.
Yep.
TJ Brody.
Yeah.
How many, for you talking buds historians out there,
Yeah.
how many times have we said the name TJ Brody? Never.
How many times when you listen to radio or when you watch pregame and postgame shows do you hear the name TJ Brody?
Never.
Yeah.
And the thing that shocks me too, it's because
We should clarify, this isn't a negative.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't negative at all. This is just like me just being like, what the hell is going on? Because any Leaf player that makes, like, he occupies a chunk of the salary cap, like $5 million to play on the top pair or the second pair or whatever. So with that, in this city comes scrutiny if you're not playing well. But have you heard a negative thing said about this guy?
No.
Never.
But that's, I think if you're, so it's funny, right? It's different. If you want to talk invisible man, it's totally different to call a defenseman that versus calling a forward that.
For sure.
If you're calling a forward the invisible man, it's negative always.
Oh yeah.
It's you're out there. We don't know. You're not doing anything. You're not generating any offense. You're not generating any scoring chances.
No.
But when you're a defenseman, it's a good thing. It means
No.
we don't notice you. You're not getting beat. You're not coughing up the puck.
Especially when you're not an offensive defenseman.
Yes.
Because he's not an offensive defenseman.
But he's so critical.
No. And it's
Think
just,
about, like, let's just say, knock on wood, let's just say he got hurt.
Yeah, that's why what we talked about last week with trading Dermott or Hull. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be doing that.
No.
Because of that. But it just, I don't know. Like, I feel like Leaf fans, the nerdiest Leaf fans, the most old school Leaf fans, all the different pockets and weird stuff with Leaf fans, they'll find something to bring to the forefront about a player who's making decent money, who maybe not doing this or that. And this guy's just like living on another planet.
Yeah.
Like, he just goes away scot-free. No one says anything about him. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, literally just the most useless
So your
player.
your point is more about,
It's not even about the way he's playing. He's playing great.
no, but your point is more about the Toronto market.
Yeah.
Like
why is
traditionally, you think that they would like zero in on a player who makes as much money as he's
and like
making.
we're going at, like, you did it on this podcast. We're going out of our way to praise David Camp,
Yeah.
Andre Kasha, like, and here's a guy who's a top pairing defenseman who makes over $5 million a year, who just, like, they're not even like praising him.
No.
They're not even be like, oh, TJ Brody, we're falling in love with just nothing.
Yep.
It's just quiet whispers, invisible.
Yep.
Nobody says his name.
Yeah.
I don't even hear his name. Like, I listen to the radio all day long. I'm a fanatic of Toronto media, and TJ Brody's name never comes up. And it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting study. I don't understand.
I
don't
maintain
get it.
that's a good thing for a defenseman.
100%.
Before we get out of here, I would be remiss, like, if you look at that jersey on the wall behind you, I would be remiss if we didn't just mention quickly.
That logo.
Yeah. I would be remiss if we didn't mention quickly Dion Phaneuf being honored by the Leafs earlier this week. It warmed my heart. It really did.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that when he was here, man,
Good soldier.
Man, did he take a lot of shit when he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Man, did he. And it's like, it was never the guy's fault.
No.
He didn't ask to be named captain.
No.
Burke and Wilson just made him captain.
Yeah.
He was a good soldier. He
Mhm.
played really hard for this team. He cared about being a Leaf. It was funny. So many people sharing Dion Phaneuf like highlight reels on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. And this dude laid some guys out in his day.
Okay, 2 quick opinions on Dion Phaneuf. Number 1, never hated him as a Leaf.
Yeah.
Wasn't slotted correctly, was on a terrible team that was just whatever. Salute gate. Personally, unpopular opinion, didn't blame the players. Don't throw jerseys on the ice. Don't throw waffles on the ice. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad a team's doing.
Yeah.
Number 2, I don't get what happened to this guy. He doubled Dion, laying guys out, fighting, scoring 20 goals a year, to all of a sudden becoming not physical, backing away from dudes like Lucic in the playoffs in 2013, and not contributing offense and missing the net on a slap shot every 2 seconds. I don't. That's the one thing about Dion Phaneuf. It's nothing to do with him as a Leaf. It's like, what happened to the dude that was in Calgary? Like, what?
Yeah.
I just want to know what happened in that time where
I
he
still
went from being a
remember the
legend.
day. I still remember the day where they traded for him. I remember where I was. I remember exactly where I was when I got the news. So, but anyways, warmed my heart to see it. I thought the video they put online with him like talking to the team was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, congratulations, he deserves it.
Mhm.
Last thing, I'm gonna ask you the most sports radio question of all time right now. You got Pittsburgh on Saturday at home, and then you got the Islanders on the road on Sunday night. How are you deploying your goaltenders?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I have a hard time thinking about this, what the rationale is. I get you're going to the Island, first home game. It's going to be tough. But, I mean, in a perfect world, Hutchinson put him in that game because you think it's going to be a harder.
Wool.
I mean, Wool.
Yeah.
Put Wool. I mean,
Hutchinson just got shelled for 4 goals
in the
A.
Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. Hutchinson just got shelled for 4 goals with the Marlies. He's not coming up.
In a perfect world, put your best goalie in the hardest situation, but maybe you want to do the Babcock.
The Babcock, yes.
Bank the 2 points.
The Babcock method.
I don't care. Yeah. It doesn't matter who. Like, teams have to play their backup goalies. You're gonna have to win games with your backup goalie. Putting him in, you have to put him in eventually. So it's like, figure it out. I don't care which game he goes in personally. Just figure it out when he's in the net. Yep. Like, just play better defensively, be tighter, whatever. I don't care.
Well, can't think of a better way to end this week's episode other than that. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button below. Leave a comment, spread the word, tell your friends, the algorithm, all that fun stuff. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.